resume the recording. Holy cow, I almost forgot to record. Can you imagine the wrath I would have incurred had this not been recorded? All right. All right. All right. Aho. Aho. I love that. All right. We're fired up. All right, everybody. Hey, we're looking at iTunes. And hey, Kathleen, great to see you. We're gonna your show after today's training. You're gonna be able to have a show just like the ones you see here on iTunes. And as part as part of the package, easy for me to say. I'm gonna move the chat over here for a minute. Part of your bonus package was I will submit your show for you to iTunes. I need your help though. You're gonna have to choose one of these categories over here. Remember these guys right here? You got 13 categories to choose from: art, business, comedy, education, games and hobbies, government and organizations, health, kids and family, music, news and politics, religion and spirituality, science and medicine, society and culture, sports and recreation, technology, TV and film. All right, so 13 categories. Now, what I would encourage you to do is to click on one that you think broadly describes you. Remember, okay, unless the name of your podcast is news and politics, then the likelihood of it matching exactly is going to be slim to none. Okay. But it's going to be broad. And remember, guys, a lot of the people find your show up here. Let me just clear what I got working here. Up in this search, So I keep using this as an example because I want you to understand motivation right there. Okay. They type that in. That's a lot of the keywords where people are going to search for shows like yourself. And oh, wouldn't you know, the Everyday Saturday podcast is there. So go back here and just kind of search. Now, the other thing I want you to do, okay, when you're going to decide which category you want, click on one. So maybe let's go down to health, for example. Click on health. And that's going to refresh. So these are all the podcasts that have anything to do with health. But as you go down here, you're going to find 4 subcategories, okay? Alternative health. Does that fit you? Fitness and nutrition. Does that say a little bit more about you? Self-help, sexuality. So maybe one of these 4, if you're like, oh yeah, my show is definitely self-help, then you're going to know wouldn't be a bad idea to go under the health category. Okay. And remember, how you title your show and your podcast episodes has a lot to do with how you're found up here in the search bar. We're going to talk about how that happens today. I need some stuff from you, and it doesn't need to be this week, okay? But now you can go ahead and submit your show. You're going to know everything there is to know how to submit your show to iTunes today. You can go ahead and do it. You don't need me to do it. Matter of fact, I will say this much. It might be easier for you to do it, or at least have me tee it up for you to submit it, because if you're, for example, your Apple account has a 2-factor authentication, you know what that is? Like when you log in from a different device and then iTunes sends you a 6-digit code to your cell phone or your iPad or something, and then you have to type that back in. So if I'm doing that, it might send you that 2-factor authentication, and it's going to be a little bit wonky because we're going to have to try to figure out when you're going to be right by your computer. All right. I say all that. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Stacy says you can't hear. It's on your end, Stacy. Let me just make sure, because everybody else can hear. So it's got to be on Stacy's end there. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, everybody. So here's something I did. I literally just recorded a podcast in the parking lot of Furniture Fair, which means Furniture Fair probably means nothing to you. It's a furniture store here in Cincinnati. And I did it on my phone, and then I uploaded it to Dropbox from my phone. So I just want to show you what I do, because this is literally what I just did 10 minutes before jumping on this podcast. Would you like to see how I recorded a podcast on my phone and how it gets on iTunes? If you don't, I get it. I mean, it's not that big a deal, because it wouldn't be a big deal, to be able to record in your car and get something on iTunes right away, All right, here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Sure. Okay, cool. Here we go. So I uploaded it to Dropbox, and this is my Dropbox account. So it was saved as a wave. Okay. This was Saturday's podcast. Joni Tada is a great inspirational story, lady in a wheelchair that's just doing amazing things. Quadriplegic, by the way. That was on, and there it is. It's probably, let me just go to my show here. Yeah, there it is. Inspirational story of Joni Eareckson Tada. Okay. Amazing story. The lady has done amazing things being a quadriplegic since the age of 17 after a diving accident. So I just kind of shared that story with everybody. 9-minute show, Saturday from the car. Same thing, uploaded it to Dropbox. So it's saved as a WAV file, which doesn't matter. WAV files are much bigger though. It's gonna eat into your storage. So if at all possible, create MP3 files, which is exactly what you're creating inside of Audacity. But every now and again, you might have to import a WAV file. So what I did is I hit this button here, download. I downloaded this podcast I just recorded 57 minutes ago from my car. I guess it wasn't 10 minutes ago. It was 57 minutes ago. Felt like 10 minutes ago. But when you're the father of 4 kids, literally, you don't even know what day it is. Okay. So minutes or hours, you get it, right? So we're going to go to Audacity. We're going to open up Audacity. This is what we downloaded last week. Okay. And we're going to go file, import. We're going to import the audio. And before I do that, remember what I told you guys to do. What's the one thing you want to do? And if anybody remembers this from last week, I'm going to send you my losing Mega Millions ticket from last week. Does anybody remember what we're supposed to do the minute we open up Audacity? You're all thinking. I would be pleasantly surprised if somebody remembered what to do the very first when you open up Audacity. All right, here's what we're going to do. And if anybody answers while I'm typing, check that mic. Wow. Check that the mic is plugged in. Kara, I'm going to scan my losing lottery ticket from last week and send it to you. Congratulations. That was amazing that you actually got that. What Kara is saying is to go here, hit on Audacity, go to Preferences, click it. Make sure it's recognizing your mic. So today I got my Blue Snowball microphone plugged in, okay? And those you want to see, let me just see. I don't want to keep the video on because I want to keep the focus on the screen. But let me just show you here, okay? Video, here I am, okay? Hey, everybody. Great to see all of you. This is a Blue Snowball mic, okay? Goes for about, I don't know, 50 bucks or so. This is what I'm using on webinars. It's always attached to my iMac, okay? So I'm doing this webinar on an iMac. It's just what I use for webinars. It's great. So it's recognizing this microphone, which is plugged into the USB port of my computer. Does that make sense? So make sure that your computer, Audacity, if you plug in your mic after you open up Audacity, you're going to get an error message and you're not going to be able to use your microphone. That's why it's important. Okay. So, okay. Stop video, only because I want to keep the focus on the screen. I know, y'all want to see my pretty face, but we got to keep the main thing and keep it focused on the screen. All right. Blue Snowball, recording device. Output's always going to be checked as the playback. If it, for some reason, selects your microphone as the output, switch it back, okay? All right, cool. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go File, Import, Audio, okay? We're gonna find that, it's in my downloads because I downloaded it just now. Well, my intro extra, there it is, the WAV file right there. It's saved as October 29th, today's date. So I'm just gonna bring it in, you're gonna get this message. Okay, Kara says it's actually saving the MP3 file is an issue. Is it not allowing you to save as an MP3 file? Because I'm gonna upload a video into our playlist right after this training if that's the case, because I'm thinking most other people, it might be that way too. Okay, here it is. Look at how loud this is though. First thing I'm gonna do when I get in here is I'm gonna take out this beginning first couple seconds and I'm just gonna highlight it and delete it, cut it, whatever. See the scissors right there. This is it.
Welcome back and a happy freaking Monday to you, champion. Of course, you know every day is Saturday. Sam Crowley, it's the last Monday of October.
Okay, so that's what I recorded in my car. All right, Kara, I'll take care of that. I'm going to upload a video that's 1 minute and 50 seconds or so that's going to show you how to get rid of that error, okay? It'll be the link I sent you guys last week for the playlist. It's the same link to view all of these replays. Does that make sense? So I'll send another email tomorrow morning to everybody, but I just want to let you know, you can always go back to the previous emails every Tuesday morning, and it's the same playlist on YouTube all these videos are going to be on, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do, the first thing, you see how this is bouncing around here? This is pretty loud, okay? I'm going to zoom out pretty far like this. I'm going to hit this button. I don't think I showed you this little hourglass thing. It's called the envelope tool. And what that does is it takes everything banging off the top there and I'm going to bring it down to about 0.5, about halfway through. If you're wondering why I zoom out all the time, it's because I want it as condensed as possible, because when you use tools like this, it'll take the whole thing, all right, and just cut it in half. So it's not going to be so. Remember, most people are going to be listening to your podcast with their earbuds in, and they're going to blow their eardrums out if it's too loud. So I like to keep everything about 0.5, so it's not banging off the tops of that. Expand it out a little bit. So now it sounds
welcome back and a happy
a little bit softer. And you can also see it right here. See this right here, the green? When it's in the green, that's cool. That's the playback. So the gain's pretty cool. All right. All right. So that's the podcast that I just recorded. I'm also going to go to the end of the podcast and zoom in a little bit. Okay. And I'm down here. And if you ever want to just kind of go back and forth, there's a slide bar on the bottom of your thing here, browser. And I'm going to take the last, I don't know, 5-10 seconds of dead space, maybe zoom in one more time. See this right here? This is a sign off of my show.
Now, baby. See you back on the Everyday Saturday Show tomorrow. Have the best day.
Okay, so that's me screaming. All right. So we're going to take the last few seconds. We're just going to delete it. Gone. All right. So that's all it took to edit my audio. All right. Now, those of you might be wondering, did you do that in one take? Yeah, it's that I always do my show in one take, unless there's dogs barking, ambulance go, kids come busting in my office, which happens, you know, when I'm doing this stuff in the summertime and I'm working from home, for example. But anyway, this was one take, so that's why I see it all in one. And now I'm going to bring in the intro extra music. Import. I'm just going to search for it because I don't even know where it is. Intro. Whoop, MP3. There it is. There's my intro music coming in. So what do I got to do? I'm going to lower this. There's the envelope tool. I'm going to lower that down a little bit less than the actual podcast itself. Slide bar, move it over. Okay. And it's right here. Let's see how it sounds real quick.
Sam Crowley.
Welcome back and a happy freaking.
Okay, so that's the intro. Now let's do the extra. Find that on my computer and you'll know where yours is right here. Remember I showed you how to save those files. Let's lower this down to about a half or so. Bring it over. You can also bring it up one, just like that. All I did was keep the cursor on it. So you can see where this ends. Zoom in so you get it tight. And let's see how this sounds.
Thank you for listening.
That's it. Done. File. Export as an MP3. I'm just going to save it as 1029 as an MP3 file. Make sure it's an MP3 file. Save. Okay. Okay. Just keep hitting OK until you're done. Now, there's ID3 tags and things like that. We're not going to, remember, done is the new perfect. You can get freaky with that stuff when you really want to dive in. Do 50 podcasts first with a great message, show you're committed, and then you'll be able to do it, okay? And then you can get more deeper into the weeds, I guess is my point, all right? I'm going to give this just a second, guys, to export. Hang with me. All right. We'll go. Any questions, guys? While we're just waiting for that to export, that's exactly how it's going to look for you. And that's what it looks like when you record on an outside device, could be anything, and you bring that audio file into your computer, you bring it into Audacity, okay? And that's exactly how I did it. Make sense? Yes? Does that make sense to everybody? We just see a yes for those of you that are keeping score at home there. Okay. Yes. Can we save the recording from last module so that we can review again? Yeah, this was all part of the first training. Yep. The link was sent out last Tuesday, and you'll also, it's the same playlist link every week. All right, cool. We're good to go. So, yeah, okay. Got it, Kara. Okay, Kara, it's asking you to create a Lame folder, so it must be looking for the Lame plugin, Lame. I've got a video that I'm going to add to the playlist literally 5 minutes after we're done with this, okay? So use that same link from the email last week where the replays are, and you're going to see how to fix that problem, okay? All right, cool. All right, guys. So, and by the way, if you don't know what question that Kara's asking right now, I'm going to address it inside our email tomorrow morning. So you'll know exactly what you're going to have that same issue. I guess that's what's going to happen because we downloaded Audacity last week, which is great. There's a plugin you have to download as well. And it's called Lame, Lame, and you got to put it in that folder. And then it will allow you to export as an MP3 file. My apologies for that last week. I probably should have covered that and I didn't, but that's cool. We'll knock it out this week. All right. So guys, what we don't have yet, we don't have album art, this right here, okay? We don't have your album cover art done yet. You got to get that done. All of these little things here, cover art, that's part of the requirement to submit your show to iTunes. You know what's funny? It probably isn't. It seems so academic that it needs to be there. Like who would ever take a podcast seriously without cover art tied to it? You'd be surprised. Where do you get your cover art done? Well, we're going to go back to our favorite little site for cheap stuff called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Okay. This is where we were talking about last week about getting your, intro and extra music done. Okay. Now we're going to get your podcast cover art. What do we search for? Podcast cover art right here. Podcast cover art is probably the best thing to do. We're going to put that in and we're going to search by best selling. Okay. So let me kind of reverse engineer what I just did. Okay. Put podcast cover art into the search. Instead of using relevance, go by best selling. That's where you're going to get people who have done the most work, like 49, 148, 477. So this one's good. 5 stars, 477 reviews, positive, 3-day delivery. You get up to 6 revisions. Okay. And you can use it for your podcast. Again, don't overthink this. I mean, for $5, even if you want to go, you can go standard premium. That's up to you. Okay. You can do whatever you want with this. Sometimes it's faster delivery, other thing. You only need it for iTunes. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to order a gig from Fiverr. And so what should and you can provide all this information. They already know that album art cover needs to be between 1400 by 1400 and 3000 by 3000 pixels. They already know this stuff. You don't need to tell them with the dimensions or anything like that. Every album podcast cover art's the same size, has to be, okay? And they already know that. That's why they can get the gig done for you. So what should your album art look like? Should you put your photo on it? What kind of information should you put on it? Should you put your website on it? Clean. If you remember any word from album art, clean, okay? What does that mean? Don't put a lot of text in your cover art, guys. It's just not going to look good. Some people try to stuff 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag, all right? And it's just not a good look on iTunes. Your goal is to stand out. Your goal is to not put everything you've ever done or do on album art. It's just to put the name of your podcast and maybe a little bit of information. Let's take a look. Give me an example, someone, of what your niche is. Let's take a look at a real live example in your niche. I'll kind of walk you through a case study here. Throw it out there. Teaching, kids, mom, parenting, vegan, basketball, whatever. Type a niche into the chat, somebody, and we'll take a look at, we'll do a deep dive, and I'll show you how I would pick album art. Keto. Okay, that's pretty cool. I wonder if there are any keto podcasts. I'm guessing there's probably keto. By now there is. All right, let's see. Keto is pretty big, right? Grief and loss, that's good. Life mentoring, like that. Yep. Okay, so I typed keto in, and what are the podcasts? Let's see. Showing results for keto. You've got Zestology, Live with Energy, Weightlifting Talk, Keto Answers, the Keto Diet Podcast, Keto Dudes, Keto Talk with Jimmy Moore and somebody, Keto for Women Show, Keto for Normies. Okay, so all right, so you get a kind of an idea. Okay, there's Keto Woman here, and didn't I just see Keto Woman somewhere else or no? Oh, there's Keto Girl. There's Keto for Normies. All right. Oh, Keto for Women Show, and then you got Keto Woman. See, I don't know. That would be, I don't know. Anyway, a lot of people use their photos in here, which is fine. Look, my philosophy has always been, unless you're Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins or Deepak Chopra, I mean, there's no need to put your photo in there. If you want to, that's fine. There's no pressure to do that. This looks like the same girl. Is this the same person? Jessica Tai and no. Okay. Wow, that's funny. She goes to my church. Isn't that wild? Oh my gosh. She sits about 3 rows over for her husband's Derek Tai. Isn't that something? Small world. Okay. Unless you're Oprah or something, I've always said, no need to put your photo in an album art. If you want to, that's fine. I would just keep, like, if it were me, I don't know if anybody's doing, I would put the word keto, like, I don't know, common sense, like this right here, keto. This is terrible album art, I think, as far as the color scheme. Blue and green, just, it's not really doing that much for me, and they haven't done a podcast in 4 months. But I like this. I think the use of color is terrible here. But if think about it from your perspective, if you're looking to learn more about keto from somebody that knows, wouldn't you think it would make a lot of sense to put keto as kind of the main thing in the album art? And again, play with it, because you get revisions. You know, you can see how it looks when you get the order done at Fiverr, but it just makes sense to put that out there. And also, if you want to, I mean, look, keto's pretty self-explanatory, but my show's called Every Day is Saturday. It's kind of self-explanatory, but still, it's kind of vague in the sense that they don't know it's all about, entrepreneurship, motivation, inspiration, things like that. So my point being, everybody here is using their photo. How about this? I'm a big fan of when they zig, you zag. What about not using a photo? This is terrible album art. I mean, this just doesn't make any sense. They do a regular show. They got 700 reviews. That's great. I just think the album art's terrible. But hey, maybe it's so terrible. It's one of those things that it actually stands out, because it really does stand out amongst these ones. So I would look at others in your niche, get ideas from them, and then say, okay, how can I look different from them? So, and here we go. So you guys get the point. Don't necessarily use, I would not, I tell it also, speakers and authors and consultants and everybody like that, they always feel the need to put their photo on everything. And I'd say, you know what, maybe give it a rest. Make it clean, make it easy to see, and make it stand out from all the other ones on here. All right. So that would be my advice when you're looking to, and also, by the way, and I know this probably doesn't need to be said, but we'll just make sure it's consistent with the colors that you've decided on for your brand. If you already have a website, make sure that it's consistent with that. All right. If your colors are blue and white, then make your album art blue and white, because it's one more place to brand yourself. All right. So that's important that you understand that as well. All right. So you're going to have your album art done. You've got your audio. Now we move on to, how do we get this thing on iTunes? Well, let's take a look. We're going to get a little techie, not much, because remember, I'm going to take care of this for you if you want me to. You don't need to. You can certainly do it on your own. It's not that difficult, especially when you go through this replay and you watch the recording. It's going to be pretty easy for you. But we're going to need WordPress, and we're going to need a place to host our audios, because we don't host audios on our website. Websites are not built to host audios. Websites aren't built to host videos either. I mean, anyone in 2018 not using YouTube, Amazon S3, Vimeo, any of those video hosting is crazy, because that's what they're actually built for, to host video. Same thing with audio. You want to use things that are, sites that are built for audio, which is a perfect segue into, we talked a little bit at the end of the training last week. We brought up your podcast hosting site, Blubrry, Blubrry without the E's. Okay. Blubrry.com, BLUBRRY.com. You're going to sign up for an account at Blubrry. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second here. They literally, in my opinion, their customer service is second to none. Now, I think the two heavy hitters in podcast hosting are Libsyn and Blubrry. I have an affiliate relationship with Blubrry. I recommend all my clients, they get the first 30 days for free there. But even if I didn't, okay, it's the customer service. I've had so many clients. Remember, guys, I've personally trained over 2,500 podcasters, and I've had hundreds of clients reach out to Blubrry customer service, and they get nothing but amazing service back, answers to their questions. And I've got a really good in there, a guy named Mike, and he helps me out if you can't get answers done. So yeah, I love their customer service. Because for me, I build my whole business on, my whole business model is the doctor that carries the black bag. Okay. I think I might have shared this either in Orlando, or I might have shared it last week on the training, or I might not have shared it at all. Remember, I sometimes can't remember what I had for breakfast, but my business model is and I'm going to share this on a podcast this week, so you'll get kind of the first hearing of this. But there was a doctor named Dr. Silverstein in Bradford, PA, where I grew up, and I'm the youngest of 8 kids. So my mom raised us all by herself. And whenever we got sick, we'd go get whatever, penicillin, amoxicillin from Dr. Silverstein. And he's the guy that had the black bag, and he'd come out to your house if he had to visit you. He actually did, remember this, house calls. House calls is crazy. And so he was beloved by everybody in Bradford, PA. Maybe you had a family doctor back in the day that was just like Dr. Silverstein. Just everybody loved the guy or the lady, and they cared about. You could just tell they cared about. He was a pediatrician, so you could just tell they cared about kids. Well, I've kind of in 2018 taken that approach in my business. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. Don't do as much group membership type stuff anymore, because I kind of want to be that doctor with the black bag approach. Like, I want to find out where the pain is in the entrepreneurial journey for people and heal that pain and get them going on their way, get them healthy, or just get them launched and launch the dream. So that's, I think, a great way. Blubrry really models that as well. Now, they have hundreds and thousands of customers, so they can't be that door-to-door doctor or that site-to-site doctor, but you're going to get that kind of service from them as well. All right. So you're going to go to podcast hosting, and I'm going to need your login for your Blubrry account if you want me to do it, but you're going to need it obviously for your own anyway. You're going to hit order now, and you're going to choose this 100 megabyte a month plan, which 100 meg, picture this, each minute of audio is about 1 meg. So 100 meg is about 100 minutes, give or take. So if you're going to record 100 minutes of audio in a month, you're going to choose, and I would just choose this package anyway, because if you go over in any given month, they're going to send you a notification you're over, and you just log in and switch it to this one. 200. Now, that's a high class problem. If you've got that much that you're recording, that's great. It's more content, it's more downloads for you. Now, you get 100 meg every 30 days. This is a rolling 30 days. So every month it resets, just like your cell phone bill would reset for data that you've used or minutes. Don't even get me started with kids using data on a cell phone. Anyway, off topic. It's going to reset. So a podcast that you record in October isn't going to count against your usage in December. All right. That's gone. It's in the past. You still have everything's working fine. No need to even think about it anymore. It's in the past. They're only worried about your last 29 days. That's it. All right. That's what counts in this 100 meg every month. So step 1, you're going to click that. Step 2, you're going to answer this question. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to choose, I already have a website elsewhere. And I'm going to talk about why that's important. Now, you need to have WordPress. Okay. You need to have a WordPress site, because that's how Blubrry and Libsyn, for that matter, work with their plugins into your website. Now, if you don't even have a domain name yet, that's fine. We're going to take care of that. If you already have a domain, that's fine. Take care of that too. Just click this. I already have a website elsewhere. All right. You're going to hit checkout. No, Wix won't work. I don't think Wix has a plugin. I just don't think they have it, which is fine. What we're doing is we're setting up hosting with WordPress for the sole purpose of hosting your podcast. If you want to use this site to build out you know, an entire website like I do with mine, for example. I'll show you mine over here. That's fine. Hosting is so inexpensive. It's not a big deal. So you can just still use Wix, and you can use this for your podcast. My site is built in WordPress, and my podcast page is over here. So every one of these, you can see how this right there, you've got the player here. So they can listen on the website. They can listen on iTunes. I prefer they listen on iTunes, which a lot of people are like, you're crazy. But well, because iTunes, that's where hundreds and hundreds of my shows are. And, you know, at some point you also get dinged with bandwidth issues on your website if you got 1 million people going. It's a high class problem once again. But anyway, this is what your podcast page looks similar to with the player once they go right here. Okay. They can, I just always send people to iTunes. That's where you always hear people who have podcasts say, hey, download our show on iTunes or wherever you get podcasts. Okay. And most people are going to find your show and continue to listen to it. Why? Well, think about it. We talked about this briefly, but whenever you have a new show on iTunes, there's a notification on the smartphone for your subscribers notifying them that you got a new show, right? So it makes sense that that's where they're going to download your content from. So back to Blueberry, you're going to have type in your name, your email address, program title. No big deal. Don't agonize too much. This is all information just for Blueberry. None of this goes on iTunes. Okay. Web-friendly title, blueberry.com, title of your show. Again, pick something. Doesn't matter. It's not going to, none of this shows on iTunes. It's just in Blueberry's directory. All right. Now, you're going to type in the promo code. Right now, it's billing you $12 a month. All right. Guys, don't sign up for Blueberry until you're ready to go live, because this promo code, which is Saturday, all caps, apply promotion. So it's free. Sam Crowley 1 month free trial. The clock starts ticking as soon as you put in your credit card information or you pay using PayPal. So your 30 days, if your show, you're not ready to launch, you still got to get your cover art, you still got to get your podcast tight, you know, your first audio recorded, and you're 15 days away, you've just wasted 15 days of free podcast hosting. Does that make sense? So go back to the replay of this video, watch it, understand we're 30 minutes in, 32 minutes in, kind of make, and this is what I do when I sit on podcasts is I make a note. How far are we into this when we talked about Blueberry? How far into that was it? Okay. No, Squarespace. We need a WordPress site. So Carrot asks, does Squarespace work? No, not to my knowledge. I don't think they have a WordPress application. We're talking strictly about having your own domain name. All right. And installing WordPress on that so we can install Blueberry's PowerPress plugin where everything is done through it. All right. Long term, there's no better solution. Short term, you could hack something into Wix, hack something into Squarespace. That's not a good long-term plan. All right. So you go down here, continue to check out, place your order, and you're done. So now you've signed up for Blueberry. Okay. If you want me to launch your show for you, you're going to send me your Blueberry login information that they send to you, your email and password. Okay. All right. You've now, so what does this look like though? So that's great, Sam. What does all this look like when well, I'll show you what it looks like. Whoops. Every day. All right. I've signed into my Blueberry account. Here's your dashboard. What does it look like? All of your audio files are right here. Okay. So this is every MP3. Now remember, I'm only dinged for the last 30 days. I've got a plan that gives me 500 meg a month, and I've used 300 and I've got 326 meg available. Okay. And I've got on this particular account, 1,135 audios. So remember, they only count the last 30 towards your usage. Okay. But that's cool. So they host your audios. That's good. Okay. That's definitely good. But what's really cool is remember the statistics that we were looking at. And this is the real secret sauce, because again, if you want to attract, and we're going to talk about in week 4, possible ways to monetize your podcast through advertisers, sponsors, and things like that. They're going to want to know how many downloads are you getting per episode. You know, you might get 4,000 here, 3,000 here, 5,000 there, and so on and so forth. They give you monthly numbers. I haven't recorded that many shows in October between travel and just, I guess that's a bad excuse, but this is probably half the amount of shows I would record in a month. They're going to want to see your monthly downloads and things like that. And then also Blueberry, this statistics part is really cool. Distribution, platforms. Okay. Let me just see here. That's clients, geography, where your show is being downloaded from, United States, Canada, all that. Just in the this remember, this is just in the past month. If you want to do a complete look at, for example, 80% of my shows are downloaded on mobile applications. Okay, 77% are downloaded on the iPhone. Okay, and this will give you an idea. World, almost 4 million shows downloaded, 4 million downloads in North America, 280 in Canada, and all so forth. All of this stuff is amazing for you to have at your disposal whenever you want it. And they'll give you an idea, like, where's your show being downloaded? Okay, that's your Blueberry account. Once you sign up and your show goes live, you're going to have access to all of this, all of the statistics and the data that you need. Now, this is... I'm going to show you something here. Okay. Go back to Everyday Saturday. All right. So this is inside. Whoops. Close. All right. So this is inside my WordPress site. Okay. This is the everydaysaturday.com. This is the admin area of my WordPress site. And I'm going to show you, first of all, how I upload a podcast every day. Okay. So I go to post, add new, just like a blog. Podcast entry is nothing more than just like a blog post. Okay. I'm going to, boy, I can't remember what the show is about. Oh, I know what it was. What would you do? What would you, whoops. Hold on. What would you do with an extra hour? All right, that's the title of my show. All right. You can add a little bit of a description here if you want to. I'd recommend you do that. I don't do it with my show, but if you look here, it's a little tricky. You got to be careful because when you see descriptions, everybody's doing this the same way. They're all uploading a blog post. Okay, and you get information. You see how it's all jammed together? There's no spaces, all right? So if you get too wordy, this person's doing a good job. They obviously got it, because if you see how all that's together, if you get too wordy, all of this is coming directly from your blog post. Okay. Oh, I was typing in the chat here. That's why I didn't do that. Okay. If you get too wordy in your description here, it's all going to be jammed. So maybe just put one sentence here, about what your show is about, 2 sentences tops. Okay. And I'm going to show you how all this works in a second. This is all done through Blueberry. All right. So I'm going to click that button, which is the Blueberry icon. I'm going to upload my audio file. I'm going to find it, the one we just did right there, 1029. Upload, verify, and publish. Okay, it's on iTunes. All right, it'll be up there within an hour. Might be up, depending on where iTunes is pinging your site constantly looking for new content. So that audio that I just recorded in my car and uploaded to Audacity is now on iTunes. That's as easy as it is. All right, so let's take a look how all of that happened. Oh, great question. Susan with a great question. Can you schedule a podcast to post? Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. What if you wanted to record this today and not have it go out till tomorrow? What if you wanted to create 5 shows today because you're off on Mondays and it's your time to record and you want to batch them all? Well, instead of doing it then, what I just did, see this over here in WordPress, published on October 29th? Come over here and you can pick a further date out, okay? You can pick October 30th. And when you click OK, I'm not going to do it because I just did it. It's going to say, instead of publish, it's going to say schedule. Does that make sense? So even though it's on your back office here, and it looks like it's not going to go out until right here, guys, the date and the time that you have it go out. All right. That's a cool feature, isn't it? So everybody's typing awesome into there. All right. Thank God. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Susan, for that question. Susan Bowman, because without that question, I'm not so sure I would have remembered to cover that. Thank you. So the beauty of that, guys, is you can record them all in one morning, one day, 1 week, and drip them out. Okay. So great question. All right, guys. How did all that happen, though? Were you kind of amazed that like it was just clickety click click and all of a sudden that's on iTunes? Like that's pretty freaking cool, you know? I don't know. That's pretty wild. So it all happens through Blueberry. And so here's what you can do if you want to. I'm happy to do it for you. Kind of that Dr. Silverstein with the black bag approach, you know? You're going to go here. When you set up your WordPress site, oh God, let me go back. Hold on. I got to go back. You need hosting. Okay. You're going to go to, again, this is a relationship I have with them. Everydaysaturday.com hosting. Good Lord. My mind, I don't know if you guys are like this. Maybe it's an entrepreneur thing, maybe not. My mind gets going 8,000 miles an hour. And I just keep going and going and going and going and going. I got to think, oh my God, wait, hold on. I got to go back. Okay. I went to everydayissaturday.com/hosting. Put you over here in our partnership with Bluehost. You're going to click Get Started Now. You're going to click this basic package. This is your web domain. Okay. All this stuff. Now, if you already have a website, if you already have a WordPress site, okay, then just install WordPress. I'm happy to do it for you. Like, for example, if you've got let me back up. If you already have WordPress, I'm happy to install Blueberry on it, the PowerPress plugin. All right. If you don't, no problem. If you already have a domain name, but you need hosting, then you're going to go here. Like, for example, maybe you bought a domain name this year and you're like, hey, I'm going to launch this thing soon. And you're thinking, oh my God, podcasting. This makes so much sense. Now I got kind of a domain name to go with it. Type your domain name here. Okay. If you have hosting somewhere else, can we move it to Bluehost? Will our website? If you already have hosting somewhere else, you should be able to install WordPress on it. Where is that through, Tammy? Where's your hosting through? You could definitely move it to Bluehost. Just type in your domain name here. Okay. If you need a new domain, you can get it through here. It's not necessary. Either way, you can type you want to get your domain and you know what it is, boom, type it in there. Or you already have a domain, that's fine. You want to sign up your existing domain through Bluehost, okay? I have it through a place in California. They suck. Okay, well, email me. I'll take care of you. Yeah, I'll take care of you. Just go here, though. If you go to everydaysaturday.com/hosting, it'll drop you on this page, and I'm just going to choose later, so it takes me to the page where you're going to end up on. You're going to create your account, first name, last name, all this good stuff here. Okay, pay attention here, guys. Okay, you're going to go account plan, basic. They're going to try to push you into the 36-month price. Just do 12 months for now. It's $71.40. It's $5.95 for 12 months. It's a one-shot deal of $71.40. Okay. Package extras. No, you don't want that. Site lock security. Nope, you don't want Code Guard Basic. Remember, we're trying not to spend money. Okay. The reason why I don't want you spending money on microphones and silly stuff like that is because you're going to need it to invest in your website, your podcast hosting. No, we're not talking about a lot of money. Look, we're talking so far less than $100. All right. But still. And this is a one-shot deal, $71. It's not $71 a month. It's just $71. You're out the door with hosting for the year. Put your credit card information in, agree to it, submit, you're good to go. But just remember, select 12 months because they're going to push you into the 36. Now, if you want to go with two years, that's great. 3 years, that's fine. All right. If you do that, it's going to look like $142 instead of $71. Okay. Okay. Damn. I have a mentoring call. I'll email you, Sam. Thanks for being so damn awesome. Well, isn't that nice, Terry? Enjoy your mentoring call. Remember, you left 45 minutes in, so you can fast forward to where the plan. And just shoot me an email. I'll help you with that hosting issue. And look, guys, that goes for any. Now, understand we have 37 students or so. If everybody emails me, please be patient. I will get back, even if it's a, email 2 days later. I'm going to get back. And if you don't hear from me for a couple of days, ping me again. Just shoot me an email. I think everybody who's emailed me, I've gotten back to you. Okay, so just be patient. Okay, I will make sure that your podcast gets on iTunes. I don't care if I have to drive to California to Apple headquarters myself and hand them your audio. All right, it's going to get on. Check out, and you're good to go. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to forward me. Here's another thing. You're going to forward me your Bluehost login. Don't confuse it. Blueberry and Bluehost. I mean, seriously, can we get any more blue in the names of these places that we got to do business with? But that's just the way it works out. Bluehost, Blueberry. Save your login information. Email it to me when you send me everything I need. Okay, if you want me to do it for you. All right. Okay, we got that. That's your site. We got your podcast hosting. Now we've got to go back. I'm going to install WordPress. You can install WordPress if you want to. I'm happy to do it. And we're going to install the PowerPress plugin. You're going to come over here to plugins, installed, add new. You're going to find right here, PowerPress. I'm just going to show this to you even though it's already installed. PowerPress Blueberry, PowerPress podcasting plugin by Blueberry. Mine says active. Yours is going to say install. You're going to click install and get it on your computer because when you do, it's going to be right down here, PowerPress. Now, let me just make it easy for everybody. Just let me do this for you, okay? Just let me do it. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to end up doing and what I need from you, okay? I'm going to integrate your Blueberry account when you send me that information. This is inside. This is how Blueberry interacts with WordPress. Everything here, website, feed. Okay. This thing here, this is how iTunes knows that you have a new podcast, is because of this feed right here. Mine's everydaysaturday.com/feed/podcast. Now, the question came up towards the end of last week's training. Can we use SoundCloud, Podbean, Anchor? And no, you can't. Because any business, anytime, can go out of business, okay? Like SoundCloud almost went out of business last year. And everybody that has their audios hosted on there, what do you think would happen to those audios? They're toast. And that everything they've been working so hard for is just up in smoke. Because this is your domain, this is what most people don't get. You're going to learn right now, probably 99% of people don't understand. Your domain /feed/podcast. Does that say Blueberry anywhere? Does that say Libsyn anywhere? Does it say No, it's your domain. You own it. You own this feed. So if Blueberry goes out of business tomorrow, you just take this feed, put it with another host, and you're back up and running and nothing gets lost. Okay, that's why it's so important to do this the right way the first time versus the wrong way. And everybody else trying to save 14 cents doesn't understand. You can't mess with. If you're serious about getting your show on iTunes and putting a good show out there, you got to be serious about this stuff. So this is how iTunes knows, because they ping this feed all the time. Okay, and that's how they know. Here's what I need from you. I need you to write this down. Okay, when you email me, you need to email me. This is the title of my show. Motivation, Inspiration, Success, Mindset, Sales Training for Entrepreneurs. Okay. Sometimes, actually the feed is it. Okay. Motivation, Inspiration, Success with Entrepreneur Coach Sam Crowley. I need your title. Okay. Pay attention. I need this from you. Go back here. Now, do you guys remember how I told you I get found so much for those keywords? It's because they're right here. Motivation, Inspiration, Success with Entrepreneur Coach Sam Crowley. What's this say right here? Motivation, Inspiration, Success with Entrepreneur Coach Sam Crowley. All right. I need this from you. What do you want the show title to be? Give me a brief description of your show, because it's going to go in your feed and it's going to go right here. Sam Crowley delivers $1 million motivation, inspiration, success, blah, 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 blah. Just give me one sentence, 2 sentences. This doesn't matter anymore, guys. The description used to matter. It really doesn't anymore. And keywords here, give me about 6 or 7. Don't spam Apple. They don't like that at all. People tried to game the system. It didn't work. They know it doesn't work. So they don't. This is what works, the title of your show. Okay? All right. I need to know what category you want to go in. Remember, there's 13 categories. Mine is business. My second category is self-help under the health section. And my third category is society and culture. These second 2 really don't matter. This is the one that's required, but you can send me all 3 if you want to. But I definitely need to know, where do you want to go? All right? Pick one. Let me know. All right, I'm going to need your artwork. This is my album art. Remember, Fiverr is going to do it for you. You're going to send that to me in an email, okay? And this is the part where it's gotten a little tricky. This is why it's so awesome to have Blueberry, because when you're ready to launch your show, submit your podcast to Apple. Literally, all you do is you copy your feed. So you literally go copy and you've got it. And then you click it to go to Apple iTunes Podcast Connect. Yeah. Whoops, there's that too fast. See, there it is again. Allow 445429. Bear with me here. Or bear with iTunes. Can't submit my feed. It's already been submitted, but this is what it's going to look like. Okay. You can what I might have you guys do, I'll set everything up. I might have you go ahead and hit this last step. And what you're going to do, it's going to show up just because you're going to put your feed URL right here. Where do you get your feed URL from? It's right here on this submit page. Where did I get this? How did I get to this page? I clicked on this tab, destination. So what I'm saying, and I think this would be the best way to do it for everybody, I'll set up every one of these tabs for you so they're done right, including your artwork. I'll get it uploaded and everything, so it's perfect. What I think I'll have you guys do, only for this new 2-factor authentication code that iTunes is requiring, what I might have you guys do is click on destinations, submit podcast to Apple. You're going to get to this page. You're going to copy your feed. You're going to click down here, sign in to Podcast Connect, which is a submission page, and then just paste your feed here and hit submit. Let me stop, because this is like the most important part of today's training. Does this make sense? The other part, I'll set it all up for you. Don't worry about that. Does this make sense? I need to see a yes, because if you have any questions about this, this is how your show gets on iTunes. And here's the thing. Once you do this, you never have to do it again. It's a one-time submission. All your new episodes are going to be as a result of the posts right here. Every one of these is an episode. Okay. So from now on, whenever you do a new podcast episode, you're just going to go add new. You're going to go title of your post. Title of your podcast, right? Title of podcast. Okay. And then you're just going to follow the steps that I did. You're going to click this button. You're going to find the audio. You're going to verify the URL. And I'm going to put this inside our playlist, how to submit a podcast regularly. All right. How to upload a new podcast every day. Okay. Christy, what can I help you with? I'm a little confused. There was a little bouncing. Is there any? I know we covered a lot, but is there anything in particular? Okay, rewatch. All right. Well, look, Christy, this goes for Christy and anybody. I kind of wanted to prep you guys for today's training. This is the most, last week and this week is the most quote unquote tech stuff we're ever going to do. Next week is all marketing techniques. Okay. How to get more downloads, how to market your show, all that, where to find content, how to create a great podcast, how to get tight on your message. Now it's all fun. This week was the tech stuff, but we got to cover it because you're not going to have a show on iTunes if we don't go over how to actually submit it. But I'll get you guys through this part. So don't worry about it. What I need you to understand that I really need you to be clear on, and you really need to be clear on, is this right here. How to submit a podcast. All right. I'm going to record that, put it in the playlist area. But again, if you go about 30 minutes into this training where I covered it, 30 to 40 minutes in, and just see how I did it, you'll be able to do it. And guys, this is all repetition. Okay. Repetition decreases resistance. You do this 5 times, you got it. I've never had a podcaster like go into, deep depression because they couldn't get their show. I've had some that took a little bit longer than others, but that's just the way that people are wired, That's no problem at all. We'll get you to that point. But I've never had anybody quit because it was too hard to upload a daily show. Okay. So I'll get everybody to this part here. And I think it makes the most sense now in lieu of the recent climate with Apple that you guys submit your feed and over here and you're done. But if you need my help, I'm happy to even get on a quick Zoom call with you. I just don't want you guys worried about the tech part. I just don't want you worried about that because it's not something that's going to trip you up from getting your show on iTunes. Okay. So whatever I need to do to help you out, you let me know. Okay. Send me an email. All right. Let's see. That's it. Let's do a quick. I'm just open up a new document here to type what we need. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Now would be the time to ask. Thank goodness you're recording. Yeah, Art said, thank goodness you're recording. Guys, this is the same every class. It's always week 2. And people are like, oh boy, uh-oh. I thought the setup part, that's why this is the first time I've ever offered for an entire class to do it for people, because I just know that I don't want anybody missing the forest through the trees. Your goal is to be awesome, is to just be who you are and to finally get that passion and that message out that you've always wanted to get out. I don't want tech stuff to be an issue. Why? Okay. So everybody see my screen. Okay. Let's do a little bit different. Let's go 16 point. All right. Okay. Blueberry. I need your Blueberry login. Every day is Saturday. Your Bluehost login. Okay. Website. I need your iTunes. Well, you're going to submit yours to iTunes. Typically, I would ask for your iTunes login, but you're going to do that. All right. You're going to take care of that very last step to submit. Okay. Lastly, I need your podcast cover art. Well, not lastly. I need to know the title of your podcast, which is, let me get back over there. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure that PowerPress setting. When I say I need a title of a show, this is what I mean right here, which is also this right here. Okay. I need to know what that is. What's the title of your show? I need to know the categories that you're going into. Okay. Up here. I need to know the category. Definitely one. You don't need to give me three if you want to. So I need title of your podcast, main category, choose one out of 13 listed. Okay. And if you need to, if you need to know where those are again, if you don't even want to get into the PowerPress part of it, you can always find the categories right there on iTunes. Okay, right here. All right. I need that from you. Okay. So let me just make this a little bigger here. I need your Blueberry login. Go to everydaysaturday.com/hosting. That's Bluehost. I need that login information. I need your podcast cover art, the title of your podcast, and I need the main category that your show is going to go in. You send me this, I'm going to set everything up, and then I'm going to let you know it's good to be submitted, and then you follow the steps on how to submit, okay, that I just went through. You're going to literally just go, let me just do it one more time to show you how to submit your show to iTunes. You're going to log into your WordPress site. You're going to click on PowerPress and you're going to go to settings and go over here where it says destinations. Click on that tab and submit podcast to Apple. You're going to click that. You're going to copy this feed, copy. You're going to come down here and submit, and that just follow those steps again. Okay. Now, if at any point you don't know how to do any of this, shoot me an email. Okay. We'll get you taken care of. Okay. Now, whoops, just back there. It's funny because people are like, geez, can't you just Google how to podcast? I'm like, oh yeah, you sure can. Can you guys imagine after going through just today's training alone that you would Google how to do this and get it done in a timely manner? You know what I mean? So this is why it's, having a mentor and having somebody that's done it 8 billion times can get you going here a lot quicker and take all the, the stress, especially submitting it for you, So this is why a lot of people don't get their shows, because they get to maybe this part here and they're like, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it, So this is why, can you imagine Googling how to launch my podcast and having to do all this on your own? This is why I want to take all this crap off your plate. All right. Yes. You're welcome, Christy. Kara. So I recorded my audio first podcast in 2 takes. Let me just get this back up here. And the second part's volume is significantly lower. How can I fix that? Okay. I'm going to show you what I would do, but then I'm going to give you the real answer. The real answer is this. Let me just give you the real answer. Okay. Stupid. I don't know why that's not. Right here. How to increase and decrease the volume of Audacity in here, or partially. Okay. I send all my clients to YouTube because for me to do a video on it would just be redundant. These people like literally wake up thinking about, how can I do more with Audacity? Wow, this is great. How to reduce volume on one track in Audacity. Okay. So all of these, what I just typed it in here is how to adjust volume levels in Audacity. Now, with that, so Kara, this is my answer. I always send clients when it's Audacity questions or WordPress or something like that, over kind of outside the scope where you're dealing a little bit with that stuff. I'm not an Audacity expert, but what would I do is if the volume levels were like that, I would come into my highlighter right here. I would highlight the track that I wanted to increase, and I'm trying to see here, generate effect. This guy would do it here. See that there? Now, it's only doing part of it. It's a little wonky. You just work with it. It's fine. Boom. like that. Did you catch that, Kara? Did you see what I just did there? I highlighted it and I used the envelope tool. Okay, that's what I did. Now, if you want to use the envelope tool better, zoom out. Okay. Yeah, try that. I mean, that's going to fix it. Now, whether that's how some Audacity expert would do it, probably not. But you know me, I don't really care. Done is the new perfect, right? So I would be doing this stuff here. All right. And unless it seriously sounds horrible, which it won't, it's not where. And the only reason this is acting like this is because I've already edited the track one time. So, but there it is. I literally increased it twice as high. Try that. I think that'll solve your problem. Short term. And then long term, go in here. Art, can we set bookmarks in Audacity? Labels, markers, and regions. 3-degree bookmarks. I've never had that question, Art, in 10 years. I appreciate that. I think you can. I mean, yeah, I think you can actually. Art, oh God, Art, you're testing me, man. You're testing me. I think you can, but I'm gonna need a bourbon if I go into that one. That one's gonna cause me to have a little bit. I think I might have. I might have to a little bit of the maker's mark on that one if I start doing bookmarks in Audacity. All right. Good questions though. Good questions. I need bourbon navigation back to my editing place. Hey, listen. All right. So here's the takeaway from today's training. Don't sweat the tech. Sam's got it. That's number one. Work on your audios. Work on your message. All right. Get clear on what it is you're going to talk about. Send me what I need to. And look, guys, this can be 2 months from now. Okay. Don't go, oh, honey, I got to call in sick tomorrow. I got to get Sam this information. Cancel the vacation. Yeah. No Thanksgiving this year. I got to get Crowley the audios. No, it's not like that. When you're ready, send them over. I couldn't handle 37 people at one time anyway. So when you're ready, send it over to me. And if you got any questions, email me. Okay. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Oh, and that issue Kara was talking about, you're all probably going to have it. I don't want to confuse anybody, but you're going to have to, Audacity probably is not allowing anybody to export as an MP3. Okay. I'm going to fix that for you. I'm going to give you a video I found on Audacity or on YouTube. Shocker, right? But why reinvent the wheel? It's a 2-minute video. Watch it. And Kara and everybody else, that'll solve your not being able to export as an MP3 because you're going to install the Lame plugin. Okay. That's it. What other questions do we have? How was today's training, everybody? Let's see, our second of 4. How's everybody doing? You still with me? You still hanging in there? All right. Still fired up? Ready to get your show going out all over the world? All right, cool. Cool. All right, good. You're all still excited. That's great. All right. And look, if it wasn't, for whatever reason, if you feel like, you know what, just email me. All right. Remember, I'm the doctor with the black bag. I can't literally make house calls to your house, but I'm willing to do what I got to do to help you get your show on iTunes whenever it's convenient for you. Thanks, Doc. That's great, Michelle. Michelle, I'm always going to remember you as the one who knew that Jump was by the Pointer Sisters and Van Halen. I'm always going to remember that from last week. That was Michelle, right? I think I'm trying to remember everybody. All right, good. Yes, Christy, you got the list. It's like the grocery list. You know, it's funny. I don't know if this happens to every husband out there, but does your wife ever text you, or wives, you ever text your husband a grocery list, or you text him the grocery list and he leaves the house and you add like 5 more items to the grocery list via text message? Because that literally happens every time I go to Kroger. I do a lot of the grocery shopping here. My wife sends me a text. Here you go, honey. This is everything we need. 800 items on there. On my way there, ping, ping. While I'm there, ping, and more items to the list. Like, okay, can we get all the grocery items on the list at one time? All right. What else? Any other questions? All right, cool. All right, everybody. That's your homework for week number 2 is to get going with your Don't set up your Blueberry account, your podcast hosting till you know you're ready to launch, because remember that free 30-day trial starts the minute you hit submit. You will have the replays of all this, so there is no rush. No rush. Go through the replays at your leisure. I'm going to email you the playlist link again tomorrow morning. It's always going to be the same. All right. So if you want to catch that lame plugin, one I'm going to add in about 10 minutes here. Just click the link from last Tuesday with the replay information. It's the same playlist. Okay. Okie doke, everybody. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. Annika, everybody, have an amazing rest of your week. And let's keep talking. Your audience is waiting for you. All right, everybody. Have an amazing week. Take care.